And it's time for Strat Time Report, and these internals are poo-poo. But it's a bend but don't break defense, and so a lot of things we call a vortex, and what that means is uh, when things are slow, sometimes small moves look big on your charts when they're not really doing much. So if you go to the SPY here, you can see this upper daily here. And did we take out the lows yet? 405.40. No, still an inside day for the SPY. So the internals are horrible, but it looks like some of the big boys are picking up the slack here. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we go through QQQ here, Q's slight 2 day to the downside, but then conflict by going green. And once again, every time we get a new 60, we want to keep an eye on that. But in general, you can see this just stuck in here because we're watching the SMH here to see what happens. It's so far holding out as inside day, but red on the week now and still green on the month. So you can see this chop shop in here. We got stocks going every which way, and like I said, some of the big boys are trying to pick up the slack. A little different story if you go to the diamonds here, slightly two down, taking that out, right? Took out these lows, but now you got a new 60, right? Doji on the week doing nothing, and then the small cappers. Here's where the fire is. here's where the trouble started this morning here, and you can see this inside 60 to the downside, still handling an inside month, but potentially outside week after an inside week. You can see that little brighter red over there in the small capper, so that's kind of where the focus was. If you're going to be trading, if you're going to trade in futures like the Russell and all that kind of stuff, you always want to keep those four up, and that'll tell you really where you want to be. If we go to the diamonds here once more time on the 30. You're going to see what got this going. Here, RevStrat 30. See this? The inside bar pokes up, shooter counters hammer 1, 2, 2, and boom, down into the low she goes. But in general, totally not doing that much and starting to recover here on the new flip. If we go to, like some of the big boys are really holding this thing up. Amazon. And once again, Amazon, we had on the watch list for this month. So long as it's above this, 3182 is your number. All right, and there you go. Still good. The inside week after the outside week, still good and still going. So some of these big boys trying to hold this market up. Apple. And Apple goes outside day here to the upside. And still waiting on this. If we're going to get some more support out of Apple, really want to take this monthly high out. 116 128.72. So we're getting a little closer there, all right, as Apple pops up a bit here outside. So we'll see if that can help it, because you got Microsoft here going inside day back to the upside. Exhaustion risk by going into the highs and just kind of stalling out. And that's what I mean by exhaustion risk. Doesn't mean it's going to get killed, just stalls out. Now goes inside on the 60 after going two up, two down, and into the highs on the monthly, which gets us to the XLK. And XLK can see a little bit better than that SMH because you've got Apple and Microsoft, or your boys over there. So Apple could give it a little help if we're going to get this monthly going. So keep an eye on that level in Apple. If we go to Google, and Googs goes inside day into exhaustion risk and then just backs off. Now an inside 60. We've known about this inside month to the upside, right? Which is going into exhaustion risk by going into the highs. Facebook trying to help out as well. Like I said, it's the big boy fangers trying to hold this thing up. And so Facebook goes into new highs, right? Barely. And so if it's going to go back up into those highs, this is what we'd look for in the 60. Take out the previous high, take out the previous low, and then either go inside and back up or take this out in the next hour. 311.80 if you're going to get that thing going. All right, just kind of keep an eye on these futures as we get the new 60s, as we always do. Let's see, LB. And LB having a nice little day, inside week to the upside after an outside week. That's 312 Chicago. It also had inside day to the upside, right? So now, once again, what do we look for? Take out the previous high, take out the previous low, two up, two down. This would be a two back up over 64.89. You're almost there here in the next hour. If we go to NVIDIA. And NVIDIA's struggling a little bit, but you can see a little bit better than that SMH. An outside day and now an inside 60, right? We're right on that level we've been watching for the month. This level here, 556 81, right? And we're over that. So NVIDIA acting a little bit better than that SMH crew. We'll see what comes of all that as the day and the week play out here. If we go to FREQ, and you can see on the weekly, 2 down, oops, 2 down, and then 2 up. So it's trying to come back up into the gap. Now it goes way up there, and you can see some nice volatility. So we'll see if maybe on a 30. If you can get that 30 to close out and then go 2-2 back up after triangle out here. If we go to SQ, and SQ stalling out a little bit here, but had a nice morning. And now we'll see once again if you can get the 2 up, 2 down, boom, over this thing in the next hour would be 248.49, right? Because you're above last week's highs. Then you get some more gusto if you can get this SQ, take out that month. The 2 up, the 2 down month, or and then here, that would be 258.48 is what you'd be looking for. So you got some distance on that. Go to Snappy. And Snap, once again here, 2 up, 2 down. You see a lot of these things looking similar. So Snappy in the next hour, if you can take this out, above 60.07. So you're almost there because you got your 2-2 week reversal here, upper middle. 2 down by taking out the low, and then boom, right back up. Handling an inside month, so be aware of that. On the downside, when we saw these Dow Jones backing off, yeah, boing. And not totally getting killed, all right, still handling inside month, but potential the outside week. And you always want to pay attention when a 2 fails and starts to change continuity, because then we're looking to take this out. Gets here below 248.03. So you got a little bit more on that. We'll see. If we go to Cat Tractor just slightly taking that out. That's a little vortexy, all right? It's a little choppy in there. If we go to GameStop, those apes now starting to firm up inside in the 60. It was just a slight inside day down, which is also a week down, but you can see it's green on the week. So that would have to change. You can see this is where it opened the week. And so if this is really going to get hit, you'd have to take that out, the opening of 171. So you're not there. If we go to SEDG, Sedge still an inside week and month, but anytime this 60 was red, you got full time frame continuity to the downside. You can see it started off here. There's that outsider, and then bam. The inside day to the downside. We'll see if there's anything more to it. Market rebounding now, coming back a little bit. So, like I said, back and forth we go. If we go to SunPower, and SunPower, here you can see that shooter down. Still inside week, just had a rough morning here, but now you can see why we watched that 60. As soon as that new 60 started to recover here, as you can see. If we go to FSLR, FSLR also an inside day to the downside, trying to take out last week's lows, but then right here on the 60, right here, you can see that tone change. So we'll see if that sets up again. If you go to Run also inside day and down, not getting killed, still inside week, and once again, you can see this 60 firming up right on the bottom of the hour. You're going to see that. Why you want to pay attention to the bottom of the hour. CXW. You can see this thing getting clocked right out the chute. And the 2 down, 2 up on the day, and then bam, here. Taking that inside week to the downside. So now you got an inside 60. So we'll see, and they hit it pretty hard. So we'll see if that has any more to it. If we go to Marriott, and Marriott once again had an inside week, popped up, and is now trying to come back through. Still an inside month, right? Then you had your inside day here in the upper left, coming back through that range. But then once again, new 60 starting to firm up, so these things got to set up again if they're going to go. Also tells you, look, maybe letter H, and do potentially the same thing on the weekly over here. Still need to take out the month and all that kind of stuff. Still right on the flip, market firms up. You can see them all looking very similar right now. If you go to here, that daily was a 2 up, 2 down, but we'll see. If we go to CGC in the weed, and CGC taking an inside week to the downside, right? Still inside month, but you got an inside week break. So once again, firming up on the 60. That tells us maybe we can look at TLRY. How you doing, buddy? inside week to the downside, all right? So once again, firming up like a lot of things. What's going on in this thing here? So I'm just watching my scan. Okay, Nuance Communications having a little push here, and that would get a little boost here. You can see this monthly. 2 up, 2 down after stopping these guys out. So Nuance, this was get my attention over 46.17. You're getting a little closer to that. If we go to energy with crude number today, and crude not doing much, but now you can see why we watched the 60. If it's going to reverse, right there, as soon as that new hour started, crude 2 down, boom, 2 up, right back up, right there on the flip. So that's bringing some of those energy names back up a little bit here, like a lot of things firming up on the bottom of the hour. We did have Conoco here, and Conoco still trying to go in day and week down, but you can see these monthlies just really tight in here. So, maybe if we can get some more energy weakness, but we're not getting it right now because you had Oxy also trying to go inside day and inside week and down. And this is a little different here because when we look at this, the monthly, if you can get this thing to stay down here below 25.35, you're right there right now. That's a 2-2 down. So if you can get any more energy weakness, Oxy right there on the month. Chevron, green on the day, is weak and downer. So if you can get to change that, so far you've not been able to do that. If you go to ACY, and ACY, we know this thing's been a shenanigan all over the place, but now inside day to the downside if they're going to bring her back to zero after bankruptcy, declaring bankruptcy and going up 400% or whatever. So that's always fun off that inside day. But now you got the inside day back to the downside. We'll see what comes of that. If we go to PPG, and PPG, you can see this day here, boom, back to the previous range. That's what we like. And this thing just got slammed. And here you can see this took out last week's high, previous week's high, and now it'll take out the low here below 148.96, right? Just kind of sitting right there. That might get her going a little bit more, hopefully, but we'll see. Let's see if there's any good entries on that 15er. Here's what you wait for. Inside bar, pokes up, stop them out, triangle the out, boom, right here, RevStrat into the lows. What did the 30 look like on this? There you go. 2 down, 2 up, boom. These guys become an outside bar of that, and down she goes. So we'll see if there's anything more to that. If we go to IBB, so IBB, you can see that weaker because we're talking about the internal, still inside month, and pokes up, but no potential outside weak as it starts coming back through the range. You had BIIB, a little weaker here. BIIB, you can see not getting that much of a boost on the new hour here, because here it's taking out 2 up, 2 down weak coming back through this stuff. We'll see if that continues the weakness. If we go to Lyft, there you go. Here's your outside week. It's a 1-bar RevStrat because it was an inside week, pokes up. Then you get your inside day after stopping these guys out up into here. Inside alley-oop, boom. Take these guys out and hopefully you can get down into this because you can see a little bit different on the beginning, on the new hour here, not poking up like a lot of that other stuff. If we go to UPST, another inside day to the downside, and what we like about this here is you got all this kind of pivot machine gun in here where guys are going to get stopped out. So hopefully you can get a little bit more out of that and get this inside week to break, and that would be here. Below 122.60 gives you a little bit more boost on that one. Just a couple more. We've got ENPH, and it's trying to go inside day and down, not falling apart. You can see that's firming up right on the bottom of the hour, right? You can see that. What's going on here, Chewy? Here you go, Chewy's Restaurant, inside month to the upside. Chewy's Holdings, there you go. Not bad. Nice inside 30. PLBY, just a little nice mover, 2-2 reversal day to change that weekly back red. Still red green on the month, but it gets my attention when you do that. All right, I think my last one, NNOX. Once again, the gapper list from a couple days ago, and it's still working. This was the 2-2 reversal here. 2 up, 2 down, and now it is still working. Hopefully trying to get us this outside week, and if you can get that going, maybe you get an outside month. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith and Black channel here at Ticker Tackle Strat Time Report.